All right, everyone. Welcome to the episode 16 of the Zone's All Access Pit Pass, hosted by the Sports Center. This evening, I'll be talking to Josh Roberts about sports, racing, and more. First, I need to thank our team of marketing partners, our premier partners, Whitaker Insurance, Stay and Play, Doggy Daycare, and more, Walker & Walker Construction, Value RX Pharmacy, Tazewell, Tennessee, Hearthside Bank, and J&S Concrete Pumping. Welcome to the garage, Josh.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Glad you made the long trip down here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's talk about first, where you're from, married, kids.
Yeah, so I'm from, Tazewell. I grew up here my whole life. I love it. I am married to a beautiful wife, Morgan. I have 2 kids. I got a little girl and a little boy, Riley and Levi. So they keep me going, keep me on my toes at all times because, 4 and 2, there's never a dull moment. So
No, there's not. What's your best part of being a parent?
Oh man, just the getting home after a long day and just opening up a door and hearing Daddy's home or I love you and just those tight hugs. It's you can't take that away.
Okay, let's talk about young Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play Little League, baseball? What all did you do?
Yeah, so when I was a little kid, I done the t-ball, coach pitch. I was pretty much a baseball head. And up until 8th grade, I met a guy named Todd Shackelford. I'm sure if you're from Claiborne County, you know sports, you know that coach. He introduced me to basketball. I fell in love with it. But I was also a big body for an 8th grader. He's like, I think you need to try out for football too.
Yeah.
And really, I never really thought about playing football until 8th grade. And when I did, that was a whole new animal. That was a love right there. So fell in love with it instantly. I had kind of natural talent for the game. Didn't really know much about the sport. I was kind of learning it on the fly, doing practice and all that. And then fast forward to high school. We ended up my freshman year had probably one of the best records with Jared Lyles and Brian Helton and all that.
Absolutely, yeah.
With 8-2. So I had that tradition to go with and that foundation, and transferred into my senior year, and we done the same thing, 8-2. I got to play football, ran track. I wanted to play basketball, but for some reason, I just, in my head, I was too small. However, I did turn that into running the student section for basketball, so I got to do that. We got on the news once for it. So.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, what would you say your favorite was? Was it still baseball, or did it kind of lend itself to being football?
Well, football definitely. While I was in school, in the back of my head, basketball's always been that sport where I can just go if I had a stressful day and just release. Something about playing, basketball, and I still to this day I'll play ball when I can.
Yeah.
And all my buddies, they know, that love for basketball there, and I love watching it on TV. But football's always there too. So if I had to choose one sport, it's definitely basketball.
Name a few of your favorite athletes.
Favorite athletes all time for me is Ray Allen. When I was younger, I tried to mimic my game like him, shooting that 3, just shooting the ball. Not a lot of people say Ray Allen, but Ray Allen was my favorite. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr. Racing. So that was my 2 biggest ones growing up. And then The Rock too, wrestling. I was a huge wrestling fan. So that was my 3. Yeah.
Okay. Why did you admire those athletes?
Man, the intensity that they all had. Not once did they ever, shun away from, the biggest or the brightest, stage. Obviously, The Rock being The Rock, he was one of the best of the best. Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think a lot fell in with, senior. and I was young, he was young, getting his feet wet with racing. So I kind of really correlated with him a little bit, just being younger, and then obviously Ray Allen. Just loved watching him shoot that ball.
As a kid, was you around motorsports? Where did you watch racing at? Who was your favorite drivers then? I mean,
Yeah, so I did grow up, at Tazewell Speedway as a little kid. My uncles all raced. I think back in the day it was Thunder and Lightning.
oh yeah,
I think that's what the series was called back then.
yes.
So my uncles and cousins, they had raced. So my dad, I remember being probably 8.
Well, who's your uncle and cousins that
Yeah,
race?
so James and Thurman Lane, they both raced a 77
Mhm.
black and white.
I
so
remember
both of them got to run that.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Yance was a cousin. So I'm pretty sure he ran. I don't know if he ran the Thunder and Lightning or Pure Street, but
I think he mostly pure street,
yeah.
from what I remember.
Yeah, and I think that's
Maybe touch and modified every now and then.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure on that, but I think so. Who or what inspired you to try
I would
racing?
Yeah, I think honestly, my dad, being a kid, he had I want to say it was a Monte Carlo out in the back. He was trying to, form it to have a race car, and then life got in the way, and he had to sell it for, financial reasons. But his love for racing's always been there. So I think I get a lot of my sports from my dad.
Yeah.
So
Why did you decide to start out in the classics?
there was a lot. Probably about 2-3 years ago, a little bit, the year after COVID, I sat down with my wife. I was like, hey, I want to race. It was always a dream of mine. And then when it became real and, things were lining up, what class was I going to race? I really didn't want to race the 4 cylinders because that's just a different breed of car that I wanted to get into. But something that was a staple for Tazewell was the classic car division.
That style, for
Yeah,
sure.
that style.
And
The racers.
yeah.
I mean, you come to any night, that classic car division was probably one of the best races that night. And there's something about that car. I just love that old style.
Oh, that
car,
old style on the track, yeah.
So and that it just opened its doors, and here we are now.
Talk about the car you've got right now.
Yep. So right now we've got the classic car division can run like a 32, 34, or 40s era body style. So we've got that. We got a coupe. When we bought it, it was race ready. There was a few minor things that we fixed on it, but going into practice, we were ready. It's not like we had to do a lot to it. So we went into practice, and we actually felt like we had a strong car at practice. However, fast forward now, weeks go by, the carburetor, we're having big carburetor issues. But overall, it's not been a huge transition from being a fan to a racer with this car. I mean, I'm fitting right in it and feeling comfortable early on.
It's cool. What was it like when you sit down and strapped in the first time? Kind of describe in detail the feelings you had.
Yeah, so butterflies, 100%. It's one thing being a fan in the stands, and they're loud, but it's not too loud being that far away. But when you get into that car and turn it off the first time, you're like, oh, there's some power here. And then obviously, you're the driver. You're only going to be as good as you are. So that sets in quick. But really, the biggest thing was butterflies. But when I strapped in, I was telling you earlier, I settled down. When I buckled that in and I tightened into that seat, it's like I didn't really have a care in the world. I was comfortable, which is that's what you want as a racer,
right?
But man, it was an adrenaline rush, that's for sure.
When you went out to qualify, I'm sure you qualified.
Yeah,
the first time. How did that feel?
So I got to go behind Will Carey, which right now he's one of the front runners in our division. It's one thing, first time ever out, going behind somebody else like that who is a front runner, almost every night. Nerves were there. So in hot laps, I watched his line. I was like, I'm a visual learner. I was like, I'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
Tried it, and got a little loose. I was like, okay, I'll learn from that. Well, qualifying, I got in over my head and I sent turn 3 and 4, hot, and my back end came completely sideways. I had to yank it to the to the right. I saved it, but it killed my qualifying time big time. But that was my very first qualifying lap. So I almost spun out, but I didn't. I saved it.
What position?
So I ended up coming in eighth out of, I want to say, 11 first race.
Oh, not bad.
So not bad.
Okay, you line up for the grid.
Mm-hmm.
You get your spot.
Yep.
What thoughts are going through your head then?
Well, if you know Tazewell, you know how steep it is. Practice and hot laps and all that packing. I'm kind of mid to low. I really haven't got to that brave area of running the high line just yet. But when you're gridded on the outside line, you're forced. You have to. So I had to fight that fear early. So green flag drops. I'm up against the wall. Thankfully, the guy was on the side of me. Give me plenty enough room, so I was able to ease my way, getting comfortable with that high line. But man, staging and pacing, and, watching the car in front of you, getting bumped from behind. I mean, there's a lot of emotions going on. So, but it was fun. Yeah, I mean, that was my first ever. I felt like I handled it pretty well. So, but yeah, it's something else running in that wall, though.
Yeah. Did you have any moments during that first race where you were thinking, "Oh my gosh"?
A few.
You felt like you were in control.
I felt like I was in control. Surprisingly enough, like I didn't have any moments where I'm in over my head or anything like that. And I actually passed 2 cars, so I went from 8th to 6th, and I want to say 3 laps. And first race, I was right there within striking distance of the leaders. Like I wasn't obviously going to be able to pass them in a couple of laps, but who knows what could have happened with 20 laps in. But
yeah.
So I felt comfortable for the very first race.
Did you get to the track that first day and realize, oh, I forgot something, or something happened that was unexpected?
Yeah. So actually, yeah, we forgot our tire compressor. And as soon as we got out, we're unloading everything, and my crew chief / buddy / he's that guy, Austin Goodman. He's like, hey, let's get these get these tires aired up so we can fix the stagger. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see it. So we're like, hey, Dad, can you go pick it up real quick? So, that was a mistake. But I made sure every time we got loaded up, that's the first thing that goes on the truck.
All right. You mentioned one, but who helps you with your dream? Who's crewing for you?
Yep. So we're a small operation. Right now it's, Austin Goodman. He's really the head mechanic. I know a little bit about the car, not a lot. He's been around, street stocks his whole life with his dad and bracers and stuff like that. So he's got a head up on the game over me with the car. Been awesome help, and my dad. So that's really it. It's just us three. Every so often, Austin's dad, Matt, will come in and help. And he's kind of like a master mechanic. You tell him the problem, he's got a solution within seconds. But right now, it's just me and Austin and Dad. So,
going back to your time in the car, you had a couple of races under your belt. What's the worst mistake you made so far and got away with?
Well, actually, it just happened. This past race, we were in hot laps. I don't know if it was my fault or not, but obviously, when you're in that car, you don't have mirrors. It's not like where everybody's at. I don't know if I went up too high or if the car behind me was just trying to squeeze his way in and pass me. But we connected on the backstretch, and it made my tire pop up off the ground. And thankfully, no other damage outside of just a tire rub happened. But it was one of those things where it happened so fast. You're like, did I do that? Or is he forcing his way in? But other than that, that's been about it. I really haven't had too many, oh crap moments so far. So I'm sure they're coming.
We all know racing is expensive. I mean, no matter what class you're running, you have to have help. You want to talk about some financial support you're getting?
Yeah. So
talk about your sponsors.
Yeah. As a rookie driver, I didn't have a lot of expectations on who was going to be able to help us out. So I sent word out to a few buddies, and I actually did get quite a bit of sponsors. First off, I don't have a resume. I just my third or fourth race now, so it's not like I have a big glowing resume. Like, hey, this is what I can bring to the table. So a few sponsors. So one of my biggest ones is my good buddy Sean Logan. and Alan Reese, Reese Monuments.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest ones. And if you have Reese on your car, it means something.
It does.
And I remember I sat down
It
with
does.
Alan and Sean both, and I talked to him for a while. I'm like, listen, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'll promise to represent that name well. So as one of the big ones, Kevin Bashea with Caldwell Bakers is another big one for us. I actually just picked up another one yesterday, and it's Alex's foot trim, barefoot trim. She's Sean's neighbor. She has her own businesses where she fixes horses and any other issues with feet with an animal. It's a huge one. So yeah, Stokes obviously is where I work. They were able to jump on board. They were excited about it. They want to know every time I come in. They're like, "Hey, how's the car?" So
it's good.
so far, Tim Fletcher as well. Not really a money issue, but it's more of a knowledge. Tim knows his cars, so that's about all the ones I have so far right now.
What would you say the ultimate goal for this season will be?
Yeah, so I did before practice, before everything, before I actually strapped into the car for the first time. I sat down and I told Dad and Austin, like, hey, this is what I want. This is the goal. Obviously, I'm not going to be a championship contender if I was, and Kyle Larson, here I come. No, my thing is, be competitive where I can, run my own race. Don't flip. That's the main priority is I'm not trying to flip, trying to blow an engine. I'm just trying to maintain, get good seat time for this year, and whatever happens. First race, really, I want to stay in the race group, and I felt like I did. I mean, I was right there with the leaders, so I'm checking my little goals off. But as long as we don't blow the engine or flip the car, that's really about the only goals I have other than seat time.
Any thought of one day moving up to a sportsman class or a late model of any kind?
It's always there. Obviously, I mean, if I'm getting good at it, it wouldn't be a bad ordeal to go up. When you go up a class, you better have a fatter wallet. Every class you go up,
for
it's
sure,
just going to get more and more. If an opportunity presents itself, I'm down. But right now we're hopefully going to make something out of classic car. Make this division. We have another car we're going to try to rebuild as well, and who knows what that holds. But right now, I think our couple of year plan is classic car division.
Talk about, does a classic car have a lot of adjustments or talk about the motor, what you're limited to? Just give us an idea of what's underneath the classic car.
We only can run a 305 Chevy 305 with a automatic transmission, turbo 350. There's really, for us right now, we're trying to learn the car as well. I'm sure there's a lot of adjustments. Right now, the biggest adjustment we're able to do on between hot laps, qualifying race is their tire stagger and all that.
Yeah.
So far, it's kind of a grassroots division. There's not a lot you can do to that. If there is, I'm sure we'll try to figure it out down the road. But right now, you only get to run a 305. And you only get that automatic transmission, so it's kind of bare bones racing, and that's what I like about it.
So it's more like a go-kart. You don't have too many different adjustments on it. I mean, it's what you got. It's what you got.
It's what you got.
And then use the tire pressures to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you win your first, in your dream, what will it feel like?
Man, to me, I mean, it has to come somewhat close to the Super Bowl because it's your first. I've never won the Super Bowl, but in my sports playing days, probably like beating Cumberland Gap. I mean, it's a bragging right. It's man, I've done something.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's going to be something that I can never replace. First ever race. I got to do iRacing, so I've won many of those. But something about real life. We're putting blood, sweat, and tears, which actually I cut my thumb today working on the car. So we're definitely putting it in, and I'm sure the reward will be awesome to have, especially with that group of guys that I'm racing against. It's not like it's going to be an easy feat.
Looking back at your coaches in athletics, did you learn anything from them that you can apply towards racing?
Yeah, one of my biggest mentors still is today is Coach Lyles. He taught me a lot. He taught me, about football, how to play it, how to coach it, because I coached with him for a few years. But the biggest thing is, he taught me a lot about how to become a man, how to be, present while you're working, and how to, try to put your best step forward, and do the best you can each and every time, no matter adversity. So Coach Lyles, that's a huge hat off to him. And Coach Shack too. That's a different character, but
He's totally different.
Yeah, different character. But he taught me a lot too. So those two guys in sports, those were my biggest mentors growing up.
When I first met Coach, I'll tell this story. Coach Shack, I was like, I'm not really enjoying this guy. And as years go by, and I got to get in practice and stuff, and watch him practice, and just to see his passion, I understood where he's coming from then.
Right.
But he's knowledgeable, especially about football.
Yeah.
And just I respect him too.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. And Lyles is amazing man.
Yeah, he is.
You were lucky to have them as coaches.
I am, and
You were.
and still having Coach Lyles in my life today. We go to church together. So, two awesome men.
Do you want to thank anybody that's helped you along the way? I mean, not even just racing, but sports. I mean,
Yeah, one of my biggest ones was obviously my best friend in high school. We're close still today. David Houston. A lot of people know him. We pushed each other in practice. Not a lot of people like that competitive nature of pushing each other in practice. He's one of the biggest ones. He instilled a lot of intensity. I didn't really have that because obviously I started playing sports late. But I wanted to beat him.
He was a beast.
There's a few times, David was a different animal as well on the football field.
Yes, he was.
But I do have some bragging rights in practice. If you want to talk about it after, we can.
I'm sure he'll say the same thing.
Yeah, and then really, and fast forward to racing, two guys. I want to make a name for myself, but I also don't. I want to make it a right name. I don't want to make a bad impression on anybody. And two racers right now, it's kind of step forward and it's helping me out. It's Kevin Crane. I got to meet him last racing season. This is before I even realized I was going to race classic cars. He's like, man, if you want to help me out, you sure can. I'll teach you everything I know about the car. So that was awesome. And then this year, I've got to meet Danny Hutchins, and him and his daughter race. He's rushed out plenty of times asking, what's going on? Hey, is there anything I can do? So those two guys racing right now, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's just that camaraderie with the drivers.
Is there any significance to your number or your color?
Yeah. So actually there is. Dad, he was going to race 42. Mine in football was 28. That's a deep number for me. But right now racing is 42, and I don't have any intentions of taking it off. I am a Kentucky fan, so rocking orange on the car right now is a little tough. But Dad,
We'll forgive you.
Yeah. I wanted to make this whole first season of racing all dedicated to him. I even have an orange helmet. That's the closest I was going to get to a Tennessee helmet. I told him, I was like, it's fluorescent orange, it's not Tennessee orange. So really, 42 and black and orange is kind of all dedication to Dad. And, saying thanks. He introduced me to racing, so why not? Tap the head to him and try to.
Did you say he raced or not?
No, he didn't get to.
He just a fan.
He was a fan. He did have a car. Then my mom, she has some health issues, so he ended up selling the car at the time. It wasn't really race ready, but it was getting close. He sold it for a little bit, and that helped pay for some things. He never did get to chase that dream. So he's really living through it right now, and I see the excitement at the racetrack.
I bet you do. Back to football. Who was some other teammates that really helped you along the way? You say drive you and stuff. Who was responsible for that other than Houston?
So obviously Houston. Two other ones. One was Michael Loggins. We were neighbors.
Yeah.
We got to grow up together. Obviously, he went to become a Marine, heck of a guy, mad respect for him. But in school, Isaiah Mullins, he had determination a lot. I mean, he was always in the gym working out. I wouldn't say I was lazy, but if I could cut a corner, I would. He wouldn't. So I didn't really see that, early on. But when it was junior year going into senior year, I started hanging out with more and more with Isaiah. So those two guys. And it's funny because Isaiah, he lives just above me now. So we live right there within driving, throwing rocks at each other. So those two guys are, thank you.
If you owned Tazewell Speedway, what would be a couple things you changed?
Bigger bathrooms, bathrooms in the pits, because man, it's something about those little stalls that you got to walk to. It's something else, especially when it warms up. Really, the track itself, I mean, it speaks for itself. It's nationally known. I'm not changing anything with the track.
You could say internationally known.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, it's the World
it's
Wide
big.
Web. It takes it everywhere.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, really, the only thing I remember being a kid is seeing the trucks packed in reverse, and I felt like that made a world of difference. If anything, I would probably go that route. My dad and I talk about it all the time. Oh, let's go do it, but that's one thing. But overall,
Yeah, they used to start packing that way.
yeah,
They did.
There's a few things, but that's nothing too major. That'd be about it.
Nowadays, you've got so many drivers to look up to admire, to watch. What would be your favorite super late model driver right now?
Right now, I mean, honestly, you can't overlook Davenport, Bobby Pierce, some of the currents. Really, one of my favorites, Jimmy Owens, which is why I'm rocking the 20. Jimmy, he's done some things in his day, but just watching Davenport, how he can do pretty much anything he wants in a late model, their track, at any track, because they travel all over. That's incredible, especially for this sport. And then you got newcomers like Ricky Thornton Jr. coming up.
Yeah,
he's doing the same thing. So really, dirt track super late model racing right now is where it's at. So I would have to go with Davenport right now.
let's talk about probably the most talented driver out there right now. Let's talk about Larson.
Oh yeah.
Just talk about if you were in his class, how would you feel?
I mean, I want to say like how people felt with Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't block him. He'll find a way around you, and it doesn't matter what car. Larson, man, with him being as young as he is, he probably will go down as one of the best drivers to ever live.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you put him in anything and he's winning it. So
yes, just Tony Stewart, another example of that. I mean, he just won his first drag race.
Yeah.
At Top Fuel, and I mean, he's done it. He's done it all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to say about that. Okay. Last few words to you. You can say anything you want. If you want to thank more people or just anything. Well, before that, what advice, since you're going through it now, what advice would you give to a beginning driver?
Patience. That's something I'm learning actively right now. In my head, we got a race-ready car. I thought we were going to, hit the door running. A race car will definitely humble you as a driver. And that's what my car is doing right now. So if anything, it would probably be patience. Your time will come. I'm sure my time will come eventually. It could be 10 years down the road. It could be tomorrow. Who knows? Patience is the biggest one. And run your race. That's about the two biggest ones I have right now.
All right, just wrap us up.
Yeah. So, thank you for you and what you're bringing to the community. Obviously, I know you for a long time. I always loved you on the football field and love seeing the pictures. And now you're bringing a whole other element to social media and this, and I love it. Especially for, not a lot of people get to know about dirt track racing. So this is an awesome way to see it. Thank my dad, and my mom. Got to thank the wife. If it was for her saying, it'd be all right, obviously I wouldn't be here. So thank you to her. Thank you to Austin. He's been a huge help. So that's
That means I'm going to break in. One other question, and then we'll go. Does your wife love seeing you out there, or does she even watch?
She does not watch yet. I think a lot of it plays in the effect of the kids being so young. Obviously, Levi, Friday night, we were working on the car trying to fix that carburetor. And while I was out working with the car and going back and forth and revving it up, when I came back in, she was like, he was in his car revving it up. So, when they grow up, I'm sure they're going to be at the racetrack. Levi for sure. But right now, Morgan, she doesn't want to come to the track just yet, but I'm hoping to break that barrier and get her out at some point.
Did she at all say, don't do this?
No, she trusts me. She believes in me, which is the biggest thing.
That's awesome.
So she believes in me, and that's going to push me to wherever I need to be.
All right. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, thank you for
Appreciate
having me.
it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and God bless.